is that it has been said not everything that is learned is contained in books. So you're going to compare and contrast knowledge gained from experience, and also with knowledge gained from books, so from literature. So in your important, which source is more important and why? All right. So this is the idea of experience versus books. Which one is which is better? Which is a very hard question to answer. So take your time to really think about it and the points that you want to make. This is more of a convincing writing than it is actually like stating facts and knowledge. I want to read this and feel convinced that what you're saying is better, right? If you say that books is important, it's better, then you have to be convincing and explaining why. Now, being convincing means many things. What kind of elements do we incorporate in our writing, do you think, on how to be convincing? What do you think?
Some give some uh, personal experience
Sorry, say that again.
or personal experience.
Personal experience is for sure very important. Yes.
Yes, and I also have some like it's like an uh, logic rendering and give some comparison that one is better than another. Maybe in some in some areas that book is better than the experience, or in some other case, it's otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And
Actually,
typically,
I have
yeah.
not great idea about the logic.
Mm. Well, typically, what kind of words would we use?
Oh, oh, you say verbs
Words, like in general, what kind
or
of words
words?
yeah.
Oh, it's like, for example, we can use some uh, so for the experience, I think we can talk about uh, daily lives and some factual movements. And talking about the books, I can say that it's a great achievement that given by the present predator.
Mm-hmm.
Not how's that word? Pre- President.
Mm-hmm.
That our formal generation gave us the great uh, great idea and good thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so I would recommend gearing your wording to more active voice. So do you remember?
Active voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So any words that provide an active voice. Do you remember our lesson about active voice versus
yeah,
passive?
yes.
So I would recommend using more active voice. Okay.
Okay.
And then being firm in the wording that you use. So instead of saying I think, right? What is a better way to say I think? Instead of saying, books are better, what's a better way
Yes.
to, well, how do we say books are better without being so general about it? You could say books provide a level of knowledge beyond beyond personal experience. Like, so play around with the words, play around with a lot of the words that you use. If you can only think of one word, like for example, books, for example, better or or compared to. Although compared to is not a bad word, I'm not saying that it is, but um, if you can only think of one way of saying something, and
Yes.
but you would like to change it, or you think that it could sound better, you can research it. Always recommend you researching different ways of saying things. So just type in like the word and say synonym, and then you should be able to
Okay.
find different ways of saying that, and then just choose what you like.
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding this task?
No.
All right.
I
All right, then you may get started, Carl. I will be here if you have any questions, okay?
okay.
And submit what you have in the chat when you are done.
Okay.
So how's it going so far, Carl? Any questions? Sorry, say that
Final
again.
paragraph.
Sorry, Carl, say that again.
Uh, yes, I finished the main part of my issue and
Okay.
only left the final paragraph.
Okay, perfect. And make sure to take the time to read it over. I want this to be quality work, right? So this is no rush. Um,
Okay.
read it over out loud. It's always good to read your work out loud once. So then if it doesn't sound natural to you when you're reading it out loud, then look back to it, see what you can fix, play around with the structure a little bit, and do that. It's good to peer edit your own work first before you submit anything. This will be good
Yes.
practice for the test as well. All right.
Yes. Oh,
Yep, sorry, I'm just taking a look and I'm opening up the document for us to edit on.
yes.
Let's open up
Okay.
that.
I put it in the chat.
Perfect, thank you so much. Let's take a look. So, I'm just curious, in your approach in your essay writing, what did you find easy? What did you find hard? And something that you would want to work on?
I think it's hard for me uh to connect my thoughts together. Uh it's like how to give more details of my keywords and try to give example and local expressions. What easy for me is like I can I can give the whole I can give a great structure of my of my essay. So I won't use too much time in the uh, progress of uh, give my separate my issue to several paragraphs. I
Hmm.
already decided when I start to write it.
Okay. Okay. And the reason why I ask these things is because I want to make sure that you are always questioning yourself in a way that how can it be better? How can what I should
Yes,
have done? So it's always good to ask yourself these kind of questions at the start. All right, so let's see. So you said it is common to acknowledge that books are significant sources of knowledge because reading books can provide us with profound thoughts and abundant inspirations. Um, Here, I would say instead of thoughts, what we could say is critical thinking, and then and abundant. Um, I would say and an abundant C. Excuse me. An abundant C of instead of inspirations, we can say abundancy of um resolutions. The reason why I used resolutions and critical thinking is because we are specifying exactly what about knowledge in books and experience can it provide? What is the common theme? Because regardless of which outlet you choose from, right, they both provide a common output. So that you have books, experience, but then there is still a common output altogether. So critical thinking is always going to be a part of that and resolutions, right? What is the result of what is the resolution that you've found in that experience or in or through those books. So it's good to have a commonality between those. Now, even though there's a commonality, even though we're comparing and contrasting, there's still commonality. And then now, and our next goal now is to specify whether books or experience have a better um, result in resolutions and critical thinking skills. So you can say there's another important source of knowledge called experience. Um, mm, I would say we don't need this. You can immediately go to experience, or we can even say personal experiences. um, offer. And then, although this is still a piece where it's opinionated, so I'm not saying that using second person is wrong, but when you have an option to um when you have an option to choose sorry, when you have an option to make it third person or avoid second person, I would say do that. So instead of saying offer us, you can just say offer factual and unique feelings of the real world. The us, when we read it, realistically speaking, it's not that important. So when we take away the us, a reader automatically makes it seem already makes it seem formal, right?
Mm.
So it in a way it does elevate it. Um, this I know this is still an opinionated piece, so I'm not saying using second person is wrong, but when we have the option to make it more formal, to make it more, more analytical, um, I would recommend doing so. So the us, take out. Compare these, I would take this out. I would say the equivalences. So equivalences is the synonym of comparison, but I would say it's a little bit more elevated because uh we're specifying that both compare and contrast. It's kind of like a word that embodies both.
Yes.
So the equivalences, these two sources, I believe that's experience is more important of actually of these two sources. Um, you can say are significantly different. I believe that experience, and then we can say take this out, and you can say offers more in comparison to books as it is specific to feelings and knowledge. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
All right. I'm just asking because it's a long paragraph, so I don't make sure you don't lose any questions you may have along the way. All right. So knowledge from books is like a guide to specific cases in our lives. Um, our lives, or you can even just say life if you like. This is more style choice. I'm just gonna give you a variation if you like. So you can choose whatever you like. So you can say, for example, when I want to make some cookies, which I've never done before, need a comma before, it is necessary for me to check the recipe. So recipient wouldn't be the word to use here, it'd be recipe. It might have been an autocorrect. In some cooking books, um, books can tell us how to start and what will happen in those cases that we only have a go with that idea of factual movements. Okay, so this one, are you trying to say that so what are you trying to say here? Like I have an underlying understanding of it, but I just want to be clear on what you're trying to say here.
And both is like it's like a guide. You should check the cases and knowledges in the book when you start to do your to finish your goal. So it's like uh, it's like it's a guidebook.
Okay.
That means you have no idea about how to achieve your goal. So you need to check it in the book to have enough knowledge
Hmm.
to support your movement to achieve your goal.
Hmm. Okay. So then you can say that books prepare the steps, however, not the feeling. And to specify, um, there is the steps reach a goal, but the way we approach baking cookies is oh, baking cookies is purely um specified or purely decided, I should say, by the individual. So this is what I wrote how I understood what you're trying to say. Would you agree with this, or am I getting the wrong understanding? What do we think about this sentence?
Mm, It's more, it has more detail and connection about my example of baking cookies. Uh, yes, I think it's much more better than my impression of the
Oh,
general situation.
yeah, I was just understanding kind of I just want to make sure I capture the essence of what you're trying to say because I'm not trying to write it,
Yes,
but I just want to make sure that I'm elevating what you already have uh written so far. So did I grasp what you were trying to say?
yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So then yes, here is a way you can word what you're trying to say here. Do you have any questions about this?
No.
Okay. So then you say the existing knowledge from books is I would say instead of is regularity, I would say is a norm
Okay.
of the world. Are you familiar with the term norm?
Yes.
Mhm. And instead of shows, you can also say highlights. Mm, What's another word to use? After after I would say understanding would be a better term here. Understanding the knowledge from books, from the books we read. It is also important to begin our practice, which can give us some real feelings in our way to the goals. Um, Maybe instead of feelings, I would say maybe confidence. Mhm. We don't need the S to the goal. So, altogether, after understanding the knowledge from the books we read, it is also important to begin our practice, which can give us confidence in our way to the goal. Okay. Experience is what we see and confront during our practice. Um, I would say instead of that, we can say the examples we see and and the challenges that confront us add in to the experience of learning. Mhm. So I'll just say that. Although we can prepare some strategies guided by our predecessors, what we will face and deal with is still not definite. That's a really good sentence right there. During practice, we can gain more knowledge of our own situation and some great inspirations that others cannot find in their cases. Well, during practice, we can gain more knowledge of our own situation. And instead of song, we would say find great inspiration that others um yeah, but this is fine. Cannot find in their cases. Um In conclusion, what we learn from books should finally change the ways of how we deal with real problems. Um, I believe experience can offer us more knowledge because it is our personal summary of our own situation, which is more special. I believe. Um, what do you mean by this? Can you expand on this a little bit more? What we learn from books should finally change to the ways of how we deal with real problems.
Want to the technology from experience more uh, more important. So I want to compare this uh, to these two sources in the process of what we do what we do in our achieving moments.
Mhm.
So it's like at first we should learn from the knowledge from books, but finally we should try to apply it in our real moments and in our experience. So so the knowledge from experience is more important.
Okay, so then I know exactly how we can write this down. What we can see is
Yes.
conclusion, the application of what we learn from books um, should change should change our approach to real problems. So that's what we will do.
Yes.
I believe experience can offer us more knowledge because it's a personal summary of our own situation. Mm, I feel like this is just repetition of what you said before. I think we can just take this out.
Okay.
Because it's already kind of preconceived that the application, aka meaning experience, is more important than what we learn from books. Or we can even just say, Um, that the points made here confirm that personal experiences are or person so experiences apply um or target the way or target the goal more effectively than books do. Than books. Yeah, I think that would be also like kind of like a good ending.